Hey, hold on real quick. Hold on. Pause.
So this would have been a better segue from the Karen thing because it has to do with race. So recently, you had Joe Biden talking with our boy Charlamagne, right? So Chance, I know you're a big Charlamagne fan. They had that long interview talking politics, talking about, hey, what's this election going to look like? And
right, I actually didn't watch the interview, but
I watched the interview.
Well,
I watched the full thing.
So you can speak to the whole interview. I didn't watch the whole interview, so I can't really say too much. But what I can say is the closing remarks that have Joe Biden in some hot water right now. So just sort of play, we'll go ahead and play it since trying some new things on the podcast today.
What?
Listen, you got to come see us when you come to New York, VP Biden. I will. It's a long way until November. We got more questions. We got more questions. But I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black. I would love to see it. Dude.
Can I say something, man? Like, honestly, that didn't really offend me.
It didn't offend me at all either.
Honestly, I didn't really get upset about that. Like other people.
He actually kind of has a point.
Well, it's not even that. Like, you can't really take Biden seriously. He always says ridiculous, like, random shit. So I'm not surprised. Mike should be surprised about it. That's how I feel.
Yo, that was actually fucking hilarious, man. Like, Joe, first of all, these are going to be the funniest debates ever.
Oh.
Like, ever. I can't wait for that shit, man. This is going to be the best shit ever. Like, you thought, like, last year when, like, Trump was, like, kind of, like, lingering behind Hillary and shit, when he was, like, following her around the stage and shit, y'all thought that shit was funny? No, man. These two old fuckers, they're, like, pushing 80 and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, they're about to be, like, just talking shit, going back and forth. It's about to be crazy. But Joe Biden, I almost said Joe Budden. Joe Biden.
Joe Biden's.
Joe Biden's. Yo, he actually kind of has a point, though, in a kind of a sense, because it's like, yeah, are you really black if you vote for Trump? You know, like, you kind of getting the shit end of a stick if you are. You know what I'm saying? And, like, him even saying that type of shit just means, like, yo, I fucks with that nigga, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just what it is.
Yeah, my thing is, I think he was trying to make a joke about it. Obviously, people took it too seriously. And
right.
I don't think he doesn't not like black people. Obviously, you know what I mean? Like Obama. And my thing is with Biden, I know Obama's gonna be around somewhere too. You know, so that's where I'm at on it. You know. So.
Yeah, he's like, my boy was black, so I'm good, right?
Yeah. Yo, that nigga's funny though, man. I think that like this election cycle is about to be like one of the greatest we've ever witnessed in our lifetime. And we've like witnessed some good ones. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we had fucking, like Bush, and then we had fucking, Obama, which was awesome. And then we had fucking Trump, which was like, like what the fuck? But
yeah. Wait, what happened?
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, but yeah.
I always say that. Look, I don't really have a horse in the race. Like I really don't. I've never really given a shit enough.
It's going to be the most interesting one ever, because especially right now, we're in one of the worst times ever.
Oh, yeah.
This time where it's like communication is just everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's kind of,
well, it's crazy too, because you look at like the biggest issues that we have right now. Some are just unprecedented, like COVID. You have some that are really just people like society becoming aware, like women rights, gender rights,
also police too. Like that's something that needs to be fixed, because for years they've been saying like they're trying to fix that system. And nothing's changed or changing. So that's something.
Well, and this is what they definitely need to do, something to revolutionize it, because I can understand if you're in a high stress situation, you go back to your training. You just do like what you've been trained to do. It's programmed, like you're a robot. You're basically like, all right, here's what I do. The problem is when the training is, not what it should be, or if there is an agenda, in some cases it's undeniable. Some places it's just, mistake. Like, damn, I really fucked up. But regardless, that just tells me the process is the issue. That's what you got to fix. Like, I'm sure there are good and bad police, but I think more than anything, it's some of the places where what they're being taught, they're usually following what they're being taught. It's the what they're taught, which is the problem. You know?
I can see
And
that.
even like if you think about like all the Weinstein stuff, that stuff that was just like okay. Like I feel like Cosby, all his stuff was like he didn't think he was doing anything wrong. Like with the times, I'm not saying that makes it okay at all. What I'm saying is people are so much more aware now of what's going on and a little bit more like, damn, like that's not okay. You can't do that. Whereas in the past, it was like anything goes. So now it's like the focal point of all of our issues are kind of on fixing like the foundational stuff that should have never been a problem to begin with. So it's so weird and backwards. And the best part is both these guys are so aloof and like out there. And I mean, it's like we're in a movie, like a simulation.
I was thinking that too, bro. It is like a real life movie, but it's real life, unfortunately. You know what I mean? Like it's
our lives. Yeah. Like they're responsible for us. Like what? That's nuts.
Yeah. How do you feel about it, Sammy?
What in particular?
Just about like everything, like that's happening right now, with Microsoft.
I feel very similar, like going to business school. I feel like it is a leadership thing, and in the thing that crumbles at the bottom, the cookie that like crumbles or the chaos that happens is a result of its superior, and which is a result of its superior, and so on. So now that everything is so apparent and widely spread communication, like back to what you were saying, Mike, it's a leadership thing. When your president isn't not taking responsibility, and then puts a responsibility on the state, which is that's in the Constitution, by the way. This is
right.
the United States, not like a dictatorship. And it goes on and on and on. And so it's like a state thing, and then it's a city thing, and then it's a county thing, and then that's how they train the police officers. And then it's like a cultural thing. So if you were like, oh man, that motherfucker was like doing XYZ, like I worked like, let's go back to like at a pizza place. Like if I saw someone doing one thing, I knew it was the wrong thing. Like even touching people's food, like I always made sure to have gloves. No one was watching over my shoulder. It's like it's in your mind. It's kind of like a
common sense.
Yeah, it's like how you were raised. It's like, okay, how are these police trained? Who's taking responsibility? Hey, like let's get to the source of this problem.
You know what I think? And that's great. I agree with everything that you're saying. I think it needs to be better, like accountability on you as a coworker. If you see like, your other person not doing something that's right, you should get in their ass or tell them, hey bro, like, what are you doing? I'm not seeing enough of that, like accountability, like at all. So I think
there's a lot of nonchalance. I think it's not my problem. So why am I going to get involved? And, but then it's crazy because you'll have like the Karen situations where like, it has nothing to fucking do with them. And then they're like, they make a problem out of something. I think so much of it has to do with like what that person's mood is in the time. And it's like, that doesn't excuse our actions, but I think that's why people just lose their fucking minds sometimes on certain times and not just all the time crazy. But I mean, I also look
educational system. Like we should have some things that are standardized and not standardized testing. I mean, some standard core classes in every institution. Like how about ethics instead of history? Like, I mean, that's great. But like you're saying, you're spending the same time on something that is irrelevant and being tested on something about dates. It doesn't really matter or characterize you or will help you in the future. But ethics is something that is just like later on as an elective.
I've been banging on this drum for years. Like they'll teach us about Paul Revere 13 times, like every fucking year, kindergarten all the way through senior year. Like, okay, I get it. Paul Revere, the British are coming. Economics for, a semester in high school, government for a semester. Home ec was an elective I didn't take. Shout out, Jack. I think you took it, right?
I didn't take
like, where's the class on taxes or like you said, ethics or like, like there's
trait, like learn like a real trait, something that's gonna like, benefit you.
Yeah.
How to actually apply for student loans and scholarships. Like I didn't know how to do that. My dad was like, "You figure it out." I'm like, "I'm 17. I don't know how to do shit yet." So like,
you ever heard of the saying, "You teach a man to fish"?
Yes,
right.
Love that saying.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you feed a man a fish, he eats whatever. You teach a man to fish,
Eats forever.
you lose a business opportunity, and a lot of times it's about business.
It is, yeah. And I mean, that's the thing. It's like, and this is just going back on shit that we've talked about 100 times in this podcast. Sound like the old guy at the end of his patio talking about these kids these days, but it's true. Like, they don't have as much that I need to learn how to fish because they were handed the fish. And I mean, to our extent, we were handed a lot of fish too, but I mean, there was a lot of shit that we had to read encyclopedias, using
MapQuest.
I mean, like, we sound like some okay boomer, like, you know, future boomers, but like, it's true though, you know, and it's crazy. We're so efficient now with everything that we do. We're bored. We have so like little shit to do that everybody just like looks for problems. And I think that's why you have more of like the Karens, and you have like the outrage, like, and like the legitimate outrage that comes from shit like, you know, what happened with the guy that was running, you know, a couple weeks back. Jock, you put
Ahmaud Arbery.
Yeah, Ahmaud Arbery. I didn't know his name. I wanted to make sure we said his name, you know, show some respect. So thanks for that. But, you know, it's shit like that. It's just like, and again, that's not a justification, but I think people just, we're so efficient. And that's the one silver lining I will say about, you know, that, hey, don't at me. There's silver lining to this quarantine shit. But one of the things, like, it's forcing people to get outside and walk. And, like, we're almost kind of becoming sick of technology. I know I am. You know, and it's like.
I am for shit show.
I mean, shit, we see the numbers. People are listening less because people are kind of like sick of content in general. And like they're just going out and about and they miss that human interaction.
It's like too much of it.
Too much. Yep. Too much anything is bad. You got to have a balance, you know?
I mean, even in the podcast game, like, I mean, the shit's like oversaturated. You know what I'm saying? Like nowadays, you know, like there's just, I mean, and that's with everything. I mean, how many late night talk shows there are, you know what I'm saying? That shit's oversaturated. That's like every fucking thing. There's too much of like all this bullshit. And like, I don't know, man, like, I don't know, like I think with like the, you know, training and, you know, shit like that, like, I don't know, we as a people, like as Americans, as just people of the fucking earth, like we just gotta like start to like fucking like kind of like look at our neighbor and, you know what I'm saying, like kind of just like take that shit all in and like take care of like each other. Like we gotta stop fucking like just
being bystanders.
Yeah, we gotta stop being bystanders. We gotta stop being the people that film like the shit that's going on. You know what I'm saying? Because that shit right there is getting out of hand too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I agree.
Like it's just, I don't know. There's too many people in this world right now, like too many smart people or people who think they're smart for like this type of shit to like still be kind of going on. You know, going back to like the fucking Karens and then like the guy Big Floyd, who actually
R.I.P. Floyd.
R.I.P. Big his name's actually it's George Floyd.
Yeah, it's George.
George Floyd. Yeah, he's actually from Houston. He's from Third Ward. He's actually from Third Ward. He used to be on Screw tapes and shit back in the day. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like rapping with Screw. Like, and like that shit right there. I didn't watch that video because I'm kind of like, I'm not like desensitized to it or whatever. But it's like I don't want to see that type of shit because that'll make me like go out and like, you know, like it'll make me mad. It's like watching Rosewood or watching like Roots or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's that type of shit, you know, but it's not art. It's real life, you know?
And I keep on it a lot, man, on my Instagram, you know, about everything that's going on. So listeners out there, viewers, if you want to know more information about it, you know, go to my personal Instagram, Jacquees Castle. You know, you can see more stuff. You know, it's petitions you can actually sign, stuff that I have, like links, so you can be more educated on it.
Yeah, actually just
the handle again?
Jacquees Castle. Just my first and last name.
It's and right there.
I'll spell that out. You know, it's JOCQUESC and then CASEL. That's it.
Jock's always vocal, and I appreciate that you share news, you know, like actual factual, you know, occurrences. A lot of time I would know about this because I'm kind of, you know, I'm in the matrix. I'm the dumbass eating the steak, not wanting to know about the shit going on out there. So I usually avoid it, but like I appreciate when you all send me stuff because otherwise I wouldn't know because I'm usually like, oh, it's all happy-go-lucky. Nothing out there actually big bad happens. But
and I appreciate that, bro. I appreciate that because I'm trying. That's all you can do is try to do the right thing. Because like Chen said, and Sammy, you know, we're humans and we have to be better leaders. You know, it all starts with leadership and just knowing that we're all human beings. And like, if something is wrong and you know that's wrong, stand up for it. You know what I mean? Like, just do the right thing. So.